I know y'all been watching. If you haven't been watching, go to Netflix right now and watch the worst roommate ever.
Got to.
Season 2 is finally a wrap, and today we're gonna talk about who was actually the worst of the worst roommate there was. Before we reveal who we think the worst is, let's start with Season 1, who we had. In the first episode of Season 1, we had Call Me Grandma. About, what her name was again?
Dorothea Puente.
She was a pretty vicious woman.
Raw story though.
But also in Season 1, you had Episode 2, which was Be Careful of the Quiet Ones. Remember the boy Casey Joy?
Yeah.
He was fucked up by his roommate. Got a little too fucked up by him. Shit got kind of crazy.
This makes you think, do I really want to rent a room out?
Because he fell in love with her, and let's just say that story got real twisted and crazy. Then you had Episode number 3.
Marathon Man.
His personal favorite.
That ain't my personal favorite.
Listen, he liked Marathon Man so much, he literally called me, bro, you watch Marathon Man yet? What the hell is a Marathon Man, bro? Episode 3.
It's because don't no one know where this man at right now. This man they still was the people that was, man, y'all gotta watch it, man.
It's by Yusuf Qatar as a gas one.
Y'all gotta watch it. He don't no one know where this man at right now.
And then you had what was Episode 4? What it was called again? Oh, Roommate Wanted, about the serial squatter.
We all know what he did to his brother, how he ended up in, and that didn't even had nothing to do with really the story, but he was just so crazy that he ended up unaliving his brother and went to prison for it. And he's sick. He was sick.
And his episode was so crazy they had to do a part 1 and a part 2 for that documentary. But that was Season 1. I was like, they probably ain't gonna bring back a Season 2 because you can't really get no better.
Yeah.
But then they came right back this
wrong.
year with Season 2, and it started off with Episode 1. My roommate tried to unalive me. That was with Janie and what the friend name was?
Janie and
Rachel.
Yeah.
We did a video on that one because that was actually when they came back. Who was a side? That's fire right there.
My BFF, yeah.
My BFF tried to kill me, not tried to unalive me, not roommate.
Yeah.
And it went from that. That was a great one. You go back to the our other ones too, whatever. Then they had Episode 2, which was called Housemate from Hell, with Scott Pettigrew himself. What he did to this older lady was pretty messed up.
He unalived her.
With the way remember the patch of hair they found on the ground with the.
He was sick, man.
Sick as hell.
LGBTQ, you gotta hold yourself accountable now.
You do, because if you look at it, 2 of them out this whole series was the LGBTQ. They wild. Then we gotta go ahead and move down the list to Episode number 3 of Season 2, which was called Burning Down the House, with the lady Tammy, which was the wife or the widow of an ex-military dude, and somehow she took in his best friend from the military to come stay with her, but her drug addiction and other things made her do some crazy stuff, and they still trying to question her right now. Did she also unalive her husband for the life insurance policy?
It sounds like it, bro.
They do. And then you had the last episode of Season 2. It wrapped up with The Lethal Landlord, with yours truly, Michael Dudley.
Ooh, Michael Dudley.
If you don't know Michael Dudley, you just go to TikTok and type in Michael Dudley, and you'll know who he is.
The suitcase.
The suitcase TikTok video. So
yeah.
We had 8 different episodes with 8 different worst roommates ever. And we had to sit here and, to us in our opinion, who was the worst roommate ever?
Yeah.
I know who you gonna say. You gonna say Marathon Man.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
This man never.
I just want to know where this man at. This man might be living in the house next to me right now. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna go with, at number 3. I gotta put Michael Dudley at number 3. I gotta put Michael Dudley.
I can agree with that though.
You can agree, all right.
They're souped up.
Number 2 is a tie for me.
Who's number 2?
It's a tie between Casey Joy and Scott Pettigrew.
Okay.
That was a tie for me.
I put number 2 as my BFF tried to
with Jay
unalive
and Rachel.
That's my number 2.
Jealousy was serious on that one. Jealousy was real serious.
It's your best friend for 25 years? And she trying to do that?
We don't know each other number 1 yet. This is a surprise. So we're going to say at the same time who you think.
What we doing? We saying the name or the title?
The name.
The name? Okay.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Dorothea.
What I know, bruh. I know.
That season 1, episode 1. Old lady turned, man, y'all, come on.
Bruh, she had people fooled though, cause you thought she was a 70-year-old lady and she was only 50, bro. But she told people she was 70 cause she looked like
an old raggedy behind lady and she was thugging. I sat there and watched that episode with my chick. We watching, when the episode first came on, they showed the dude Bert.
Yeah.
So on rip, she thinking Bert is the suspect. But as soon as they showed Dorothea Puente, I said, nah.
She is.
I said, she is. That's the Black Widow right there. That's Griselda Blanco for real.
Bruh,
that's about to look up, I can tell.
Listen, bruh. You would walk past this lady and never expect her to be on this type of time, bruh. But she's the top because she has the most bodies. She unaliving everybody, bruh.
She ain't kill. She didn't kill, and she was full of the justice system. Even when she finally got fully hamped up for the last time, she ain't showing out no remorse.
And she never told on herself for unaliving nobody. To the day she got sentenced, to the day she passed away. She literally, not one word said, I unalived them.
Nah.
She said they had problems and issues, and when they passed away, I just kept catching their checks. We know that's cap, because the blood stains and all the evidence and stuff. But she tried to hold it down, and they caught up with her.
I think my favorite part, I can't say favorite, cause I can't be sitting here glorifying serial killers and all, serial unalivers and all that.
That's what's going on right
she
now.
was real dead gangster that night. My favorite part of that whole episode is when they finally came down on it. She had the red coat on and stuff.
Yeah.
They got her in the house. They came to search her whole house and backyard. They digging up unalive bodies and, you know what I'm saying, finding all the evidence they need to book this lady. She had the nerves to come outside, tell the officer, hey, mind if I go across the street and go get me a coffee real quick? I was like, okay, sure, let's go. So he walked this lady, because she wasn't detained yet, across the street to go get some coffee. His officer come back to talk to his superior, like, hey, where was Dorothy at? Oh, to go get some coffee. You did what? They all run across the street to go find Dorothy. Man, let her clear it, man.
Sure, missing, yeah. So let's rewind it for people that don't know about Dorothea Puente. Something like that. Dorothea Puente back in 1988 in Sacramento, right?
I believe so.
So this lady, she was a social worker, Judy. Judy is the main reason this lady got caught up and went down. Mm-hmm. Because this social worker had a guy that had schizophrenic, right? They called him Bert. His real name is like Alvaro Gonzalez Montoya, but everybody called him Bert, right? Bert was schizophrenic. Bert heard voices in his head. He wasn't like suicidal or dangerous. He wasn't nothing like that.
Cool guy, cool dude.
But his parents took him at a young age to mental health, and they did shock treatments, bro, on his brain, trying to see, because that was one of the studies that they was doing at the time for people that had that type of issues. So it probably messed him up more. My personal opinion, I don't know.
Makes sense.
It would make sense. So he's older. He needs a place to stay. He's homeless. But he's going to this rehab center, and Judy catches him and is like, "What are you doing here? You don't even do drugs." You know what I'm saying? And she found out his problem. She helped find a boarding house that took people in, right? Dorothea Puente is the owner of this house.
And she had like a great reputation. That's why she got pictures with the mayor, with the government of that particular city. She was giving back to the community. She already had like more people she already brought in into her boarding home that she would pretty much help living, you know what I'm saying, medications, what do you call it, like in-house social worker type stuff. And she was doing a great job, and
bruh, she's crazy.
Reputable, and she was a fraud the whole time. Cause the crazy thing about it, she wasn't supposed to even have.
She was literally on federal parole at this time because she acted like she was a nurse that would go to people's houses and take care of people that were sick. But what she would do is, she never had a license or permit or never went to school for this. She was scamming out this world, right? She would dress up, had the little doctor bag, stethoscope, she had everything, the whole nine. And would go in there, put them on medication, and while they fall out, rob.
Yeah, they got
Cardi B.
For real deal, because she actually started doing that and got put on federal probation because before she did the socialist thing, she was actually going to these nightclubs, hollering at dudes, taking them back home, dropping them Quaaludes and stuff in they drink, getting them messed up, and just robbing them clear like it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? But back then, they didn't really say nothing about no bodies, but she was locked up for doing that.
And she had prostitution charges. She actually had her own brothel where it was just
she was
tricking out females.
Yeah, she was a pimp.
For real. Like she been caught up plenty times. Well, she finally get out, and this is what she chose to do. She said, I can't go to these people's houses. She's not supposed to have anything to do with this at all because she's not certified to do it. This is part of her parole. She cannot do it. When she gets caught up, she even tells the detective, I violated my federal parole.
You got me. You got me for my parole.
But, long story short, she got this house and started taking these people in that got checks because they couldn't take care of themselves. She would become their power of attorney and be able to cash the checks, give them their little part, and use her part to basically groceries, do the fundraising for the governors and the mayors, and this is why people loved her in her community because she had all this money. She had all this money because she was drugging them, whacking them, burying them in the backyard, but keeping them alive in the system so them checks kept
never know. Yeah, that's crazy. So they'll never know.
They found like $100K in the closet. They found, man.
She got cheese. So the lady Judy, which was Bert's social worker, got in contact with Dorothea. Was like, hey, can I come in, check out the house, and I got another client. So she was like, of course. So say when Judy first get there, she ran into this older lady that was taking care of like 3 little cats, real sweet. Took her tour of the house, like, hey, it looked beautiful. Seeing the other residents there.
Like, this the perfect person.
This the perfect person, the perfect place. But the only thing that kind of threw Judy off, everybody looked kind of zombied out at the time. But she was like, you know what, this is great. And plus she had the reputation. So they brought Bert in. So now this is Bert. Whole new residence. Everything went in the beginning. She called in to check on Bert, you know, the whole 9. Fast forward, Bert come up missing.
She called. Dorothea answered the phone and talked to Judy and said Bert went to go see his family in Mexico. She thought it was funny at the time because Bert said when he got out that mental institution that did the shock therapy, he left and never talked to his people again. So she was like, that doesn't make sense, right? So, unfortunately, as she called back and said she was going to get the police involved, someone finally reached out to her. It was a message saying, hey, this is so-and-so. It was some fictitious name. I'm at this house, and Bert just left with his family.
Yes, I remember that, yep.
Bert just got picked up with his family and left.
Yep.
So that didn't sound right. So she dug even further and further and further into it until John Sharp. She called, she talked to John Sharp, and John Sharp said, hey, something's not right. Something's never been right. We've never went to Mexico. Bert never went to Mexico, and she's been digging holes in the backyard. Judy and John Sharp are the 2 main players to help solve this case.
John Sharp was one of the residents actually staying in that boarding home. Because pretty much when Judy got that message, she said, it's time to get the police involved. So the police get involved, they go straight there, they get to the crib, they ask Dorothea, hey, where is Bert? He went to Mexico, he left with his family or something like that. Then they asked all the residents. They all said the same thing, but John Sharp wrote a little note and handed it to the police. Like, take this. And what did she say?
The letter specifically said, she wants me to lie to you. Word for word, that's what the little letter said that he sent.
But he looked at the officer like, listen, just take this note and just be quiet, cause I ain't trying to be next, you know.
He knew what time it was.
So that's what made them dig deeper. But then they had a whole nother person. Remember the dude with his mom got unalived by her? What, allegedly got unalived by her?
So, what led up to that? The police finally come and they do the search and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And what happened was the social worker later called the police. This ain't right. Something ain't going on. Now that they got this note, this is evidence. So they go there. But the social worker were telling the detectives the whole time, you gotta take shovels. Judy was relentless. And they went there. They talked to her. They questioned her, interrogated her. They walked the hole. Everything looked fine. The last thing they said was, can I please just dig some holes up just to see if anything's buried back there so I can get this social worker off my behind, because she swears that something isn't right at this house. And Dorothea said, go ahead. Well, they dig for a little bit. They found a body. It wasn't Bert's body. But as soon as this hit the news, Bill was the son of a woman named Ruth Monroe.
Okay.
Ruth Monroe. So, but prior to this, Ruth Monroe and Dorothea became friends. And they opened up a restaurant together. Oh, yeah. Dorothea didn't have the money to open it. It was just her idea. And Ruth just wanted to make money because she was getting too old to take care of herself. Her knees couldn't go to work. So she was like, we'll open a restaurant. It could run itself. It wasn't making no money. But Dorothea was the co-person on the bank account. Mm-hmm. And then she started getting sick after a while. I'm getting sick, blah, 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 blah. And Dorothea said, you can move in with me. I used to be a doctor. She be getting everybody with that line.
Come on through.
You would not think this because the way she looks, she's like this old white lady, like hunchback.
That's funny right there.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me. You would never expect this, bro. But that's not who she is for real. She just played the position so good.
That's it.
So get Ruth to move in, and
I guess you know.
Same thing. Short time after, the medications, all this stuff. Ruth never drunk though, and her son would come see her every day. And one day he seen Ruth with a drink, and he was like, "Man, what you drinking now?" He was like, she said, "I just haven't been feeling good, blah blah blah." So Ruth Dorothea made me a drink just to calm my nerves. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'll be back. The next day, blah, blah, blah. Came back the next day. She wouldn't get out of bed. She was sick. She didn't know what was going on. He was like, you'll be fine. Dorothea will take care of you. This is crazy. He's looking at this old lady face to face.
She even tried to tell her, hey, don't go see your mom up there. Let her just rest.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go see her. You know what I'm saying?
And then the next day never came. He was like, I'll see you tomorrow. He got that phone call early in the morning from his sister. Hey, mom passed away. They did the autopsy report. There was so much drugs in this woman's system, because it tells you the percentage of what's in the liver, what's in the kidneys. They said she committed unaliving herself. Yeah. I don't YouTube gives strikes for saying certain words, but we know that's not the case. So when the first body was discovered at Dorothea's house in the backyard, Bill seen it on the news. And that's when Bill came forward like, hey, my mom used to stay here a few years ago. What's going on?
Because he been had this suspicion. It started when the mom first got unalive. He was like the main person in his mom's life at that time. And Dorothea never called him and told him.
And she took everything.
And then he seen the signature, like how she got the power to turn of all this stuff. So he was like, nah, something ain't right. He was already suspicious.
They literally, when he called Dorothea to go get his mom's belonging, the only thing she gave him was an empty purse.
Yeah, that's what it was, empty purse. Yep.
An empty purse.
ID's gone, Social Security gone, this gone, that gone, everything was gone.
The whole business bank account wiped out.
So get back to what's going on now. As these officers was digging up this backyard, they found the first initial body. As they continue digging, they got more people in, cover the place with tents and hey, let's continue to dig. How much bodies they found back there in total?
Bert was the third body they discovered.
I think they found 7.
They found 7 bodies altogether.
Buried in this lady's backyard.
The second body is the one where she cleared it. The second body, they found one. It became a huge crime scene. They had everything roped off, tent off, caution taped up, and she's looking down and she sees they're digging and she knows it's a body right there. So she says, they're gonna find the second body. Let me go act like I'm gonna get some coffee. She cleared. She got away for like 400 days. Some dude in a bar in like, I don't know.
Kind of far away, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I think it was 400 miles away.
Okay.
Not 400 days, 400 miles away. Some dude in the bar recognized her, called the police, locked her up. Everything hit. They went and picked her up, came back. She had 9 altogether. Guess why? Ruth, the guard, the lady that opened the restaurant, the 7 in the backyard, and there was a very similar case in her life that literally ended the same way. They was buried, they was drugged to the point that it was poisonous, and lie was all over the.
Okay.
Guess who it was? One of her husbands.
This ain't even funny.
One of her husbands.
That ain't even funny.
So she got charged for 9.
But she only got hit with 3, convicted for 3, right?
She only got charged for 3.
But she still got life, so she ain't getting out.
It's over with. She passed away.
But when they went through this lady home, after finding the bodies, they found a spot in one of her rooms to where they moved the floor back or carpet, whatever. It was like a spot with like human juices.
Yeah, it was like blood and stomach acids.
She was in there like
just covered it up with lye.
So she was dismembering bodies up there and covering it back up. And the question is, who was helping this old lady?
That, bruh, I promise to you.
Who was helping
I
her?
was thinking this the whole time. Someone in that house know exactly what was going on. They had to.
You see the size of Bert.
Bert was like 6'3", almost 300 pounds.
And wasn't he fully intact still?
Yeah, I think it was. He was a whole body. So someone had to drag him. No, this old lady ain't doing it.
Nah, she wasn't even that old. She looked at 80, but she was actually like, what, 50 or 40?
50? You're not getting away with doing this inside of the house. There's no way. Too many people live in the house.
And she kept all these people that was actually unalive. She kept them alive and continued to got that check the whole time.
I'm going to tell you something else slick she did, bruh. So, when she knew the detectives was coming, she wrote on the calendar in the kitchen.
Yeah, my buddy left.
When Bert left to go to Mexico, so that the detective would see it and really be like, oh, yeah, okay.
Bert's actually gone. That's good, man. Wow, man. So
she thinks she's slick.
That's just our opinion. Out of the 8 episodes in the 2 seasons, I gotta say Dorothea is probably the worst of the worst, because she was literally unalive with these people, but they were still alive to the outside world.
She got the most bodies.
She got the most.
She claimed money from them. She had a history of committing crimes her whole life. Yes. And you would literally walk past this lady and would never know in 100 years this how she was living.
Oh man, so that's our number 1.
Yeah, that's a crazy story.
Oh no, Scott, I keep thinking about the Scott Pettigrew story now.
I mean, he's crazy too, just because he was very emotional and tried to stab his boyfriend and all types of different crazy stuff. But
and the way he did, what the name was, remember the dude that was in the show with him? They kept lying on him, the buddy got locked up and all.
He got his damn roommate locked up.
Scott Pettigrew, he's pretty ruthless as well. That's my number 2. I give him my straight number 2, Scott Pettigrew.
And he's ruthless.
Yeah, he out of control, man. He out of control. But if you haven't seen it, watch it.
The episode is called Call Me Grandma.
It's season 1, episode 1 out. Both seasons, that's
on
just our opinion. Now the whole series as a whole, I give the whole thing a thumbs up.
Yeah. 2.
You're serious. You like them cereal on the lava.
Man, it's just crazy. It's like, damn, what's really going on in the world? And it make you think, like, I can't tell everybody my personal business. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know you, really, if I even know you, because my BFF tried to unalive me. You know what I'm saying? They knew each other for 25 years. She wanted her son. Like, what?
So this is my last question that I got for everybody. I'm gonna ask you. Do you think people that like to watch these type of series and unsolved documentaries about serial killers, do you think they kind of weird?
I don't know. I've contemplated this, right? Like, why are people so addicted to like murder mysteries and all this other stuff, right? So I know naturally, instinctively, in every human being, there is a need to survive. Okay. And watching this is like knowing the depths that people are willing to go to try to, because these people they think they're doing it to survive. The habitual squatter or whatever it was, he's doing this because he think he got to survive on instincts and stuff. And people like to see this crazy stuff because it's like, man, these people really out here living like this. You know what I'm saying?
And just take to my last question. Do you think people like us is kind of weird for hyping up and glorifying people like Dorothea?
To be honest, yeah, you probably shouldn't be.